College Football Update with your host, Sean Spencer and Alex Loosemore.
Let's go ahead and get into it now. We are starting with our college football storylines and the blockbuster story that came out actually on Sunday during the NFL games. Mel Tucker suspended indefinitely and possibly fired from MSU over the sexual misconduct allegations. Alex, what are your thoughts? I'm going to bring Kat in here in a little bit. But what are your thoughts? I mean, just off of hearing this.
I mean, for me, it's really wait and see. Because, I mean, you hear the immediate story that comes out, and it disgusts you.
Yeah.
But then you hear his response in how they had been in kind of essentially a relationship for a couple of years, and then it kind of hit a rough spot, and now she's coming out about all this stuff, and it's just like, who do I believe? Who do I not believe? There's so much just kind of tossed at you in the last 48 hours that it's just like, whoa, okay, like what's going on here? What's really going on?
Oh yeah, and have them hit right in the middle of the NFL Sunday, and it was such a blockbuster announcement. It just made you wonder, like, wow, where did this come from? You know what I mean? Was there any hint of this? Was there any kind of anything that might have led people to believe, wow, okay, this is something that's going on. Like, I don't believe this is in his history.
Not to my knowledge, but it seems like the school's been kind of looking into this for a few months now. Like, it seems like it's something that the Spartans have been investigating for a while. And now that the news just kind of got made public, now everything's happening. But yeah, there's still so much up in the air. Like we saw the whole Pat Fitzgerald situation at Northwestern, where it was you kind of got a little bit of info, and then it was just bam, it was everything. So I'm waiting for that like hammer to drop and everything comes out, and then we're like, okay, wow, this is the real situation. So I think we're kind of waiting for that point right now, to be honest.
Yeah, that's and that's just got to be rough. That's got to be rough. I mean, obviously, their team is actually looking good, but for this situation to come out, and I'm not gonna lie, the first thought that I had was, he has that 11-2 year off the back of Kenneth Walker, and then all of a sudden you getting this huge payday, and then you ain't really succeeding. You're not fulfilling your part of the deal, at least not up to standard. And then it's kind of like, are they trying to recoup? Are they trying to be like, oh, let's put this stuff out there? Because the way that he responded is kind of off. Kat, you want to come talk about it? Yes. Here we go.
First off, I heard what Sean said. I'm going to be real. Like, I've only read a little bit about it because, like, work. That comes first.
Yeah.
But I will say this as a Spartan. It's like, when I first heard about it, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, is this real? Like, meaning, is this, like, really something that happened? Much less, like, I didn't want to, like, for me, I don't like to just jump to, like, this person's guilty. I wanted to, like, know the facts. Like, I wanted to hear both sides. But to me, like, right now, it's like a he said, she said type thing. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Spartan. But if you look at both sides and both statements, and I guess to me, I want to wait before I, like, pass judgment, which I know we're all guilty of, like, especially, like, as a Spartan or, like, University of Michigan, like, oh my gosh, hardball. But, like, that's why I even told Sean, I don't usually do that because I don't want someone doing that to me. That I want to know the facts, because right now it says, like, Mel Tucker is saying, like, it was consensuous. They've been friends. It became romantic. She'd send pictures. And, like, for me, it's like, I'm all about, like, Me Too and making sure these things don't happen. But I also am aware of, because of Me Too, now you have people that will be predators. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
really don't know which one is the predator here. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's either one, but I think part of the hype, I don't want to say hype, but part of why it was such a big story and that it was produced, like it was, everyone's finding out this in the NBA, like I'm not NBA, but NFL is because of Nasser, because of our history of sexual
Yeah.
harassment with what happened with, you know, the women's gymnastics. Although, like as I've said to Sean, yes, he was housed at our university, but he was not just working with the university. He was part of the Olympic team. You know, he was the Olympic team doctor. But I really think that that's part of the issue with it is it ties to things that have happened in the past. And our school, they don't want to have any type of connection with that, especially after what's happened with the gymnastics. So I think that that's why they're so quick to be like, all right, you know, we're late, like you're going to be let go. They are going to give him a trial, but like for me, I just want it to be a fair trial either way. Like Sean already knows, D'Antonio fan. I'm not against Mel Tucker, but I told him I really wonder if this is more of a also too, hey, this is one way we can get rid of you. You cost too much, and you really haven't done it as much as what we expected. Like I know Sean and I had that conversation, but that's really that was the first thing that went to my mind is, oh, they want to get rid of him. He costs too much. The second thing
and this is the way they don't have to pay him anything.
Exactly. And then the second thing was mainly he said, she said, like, I don't want to like sit there and place blame, you know? Yeah. But you know what? I appreciate it. I didn't hear what you said, but I'm hoping you said something like that, or were there some fighting words? What's your thoughts?
No. I just said that right now. I mean, obviously, the first stuff that came out, it was like, oh my god, that's horrible what he did. But then it was like, then he came out and said his piece. And then it's like, okay, now that we've got the differing things, let's wait and see what actually happened. Because, like you said, he said everything was consensual and that it built up to that, and then they stayed on the phone after that happened, and she didn't have any issues with it then, and that was months ago. And she was texting him months after that happened, which was still like June, July. So, I mean, there's so much there to unpack. And I said, just like the Pat Fitzgerald situation, we just got to wait for everything to be laid out on the table before we make a judgment.
And, you know, like for me, I'm really interested in seeing the texts that are going back and forth. Because like I said to Sean, and I'm just sharing this, like if I'm interested in somebody, and I'm not someone that does this, but I'm just saying a lot of women, if they're interested in a man, they'll send those kind of pictures. And like to me, if you're sending pictures like that, that's confusing to a man. Like that's like, to me, and I'm not saying that it's okay for him to then act upon what he did, but at the same time, to me, it's like, okay, but it was over the phone. Like maybe I guess you know what I mean? Like, although I know that's very demeaning, especially if that's not something you want. I mean, any of the women out there, like, I'm not saying it is okay at all, but we really don't know what happened. We were like, we weren't in the room where it happened. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
We weren't in the room.
Well,
all right. I'll see you though. Oh wait, I want to hear what you said.
Okay. I was just going to say, the reason I'm mainly interested to see it all out on the table is because if you look in Tucker's press release, not only does he say that she says stuff about him, but it's stuff about the assistants, and she throws Harbaugh in there as well. So that's why I'm just like, I wonder what she's referencing about everyone else when she's possibly trying to throw Tucker under the bus or actually saying Tucker did this. There's a lot to unpack here. And
definitely.
I'm wondering when it'll actually all get out.
You know, it's interesting. I mean, I'm curious about the same thing. And I appreciated being able to at least read his statement. Only because for me, I like to be able to hear both sides. However, like, you know, if they find him guilty, you know, that's not okay. And you know what? We don't need another situation like that at Michigan State. You know, that shouldn't be happening anywhere. And if it is the situation, then maybe other schools will follow by what our lead. And this, you know, I mean, like I said, we really don't know, but it's just, I don't want that tied again. That kind of like thought to my team. All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking. Sean's like, Cat. I'm like, well, it's the Spartan. I can go on and on. Go green. I know you're going to say go white. Let's do it.
No. Go blue. Go blue.
I didn't hear that, so go green. Bye.
See ya.
Sorry.
Oh, man. Yeah, buddy. That is my fiance, Kat Hughes, Michigan State insider, talking about it. And we will see what happens. We'll definitely bring you back that information.